Hi, yeah, it's James here from Tumley Lofts again with my lovely assistant and daughter Elizabeth for the second instalment of Anpario video. We're here today to show you the difference between pigeons now that we rung in the previous video on the 6th of March. So we show you the ring that each pigeon gets as an identification number unique to that pigeon, and we were rung it on the last video. This is the same pigeon here, so it's GB20B 55556, and as you can see on the 6th of March it was big enough to just put these rings on. There was no feathers or anything else like that now. It's the 22nd of March today, so you can see now the pigeon has all its full feathers, growing nicely. The tail feather here is about 20 centimeters long, but it's not quite ready to come away from its parents at the moment. We can look under the wing and you can see here the feathers under the wing are not quite fully out. So at this age we leave them for just another couple of days. So it's only 2 more days and this pigeon will be ready to wean from its parents and eat and fend for itself on its own with pigeons of its own age. You can probably hear and see we're in one of the sections here, in one of the aviaries, in amongst some hens, mainly racing pigeons in here. All of these are old birds from previous years breeding, but we want to show you the difference between racing pigeons and fancy pigeons. Most of the press you'll hear around racing pigeons, but there are other pigeons in the sport which are there purely for show purposes. We have some of the varieties here. There are over 350 varieties of pigeon in the world. The smallest pigeon is not much bigger than a parakeet, and that's a Portuguese tumbler. We have some of the biggest domestic pigeons here in the world, the kings. So I'd like to introduce my son William, who has a king in his hand at the moment.
This is a very big and white king. He is a bit fidgety.
His name's Odin, and he is significantly bigger than racing pigeons and obviously the Portuguese tumblers that I talked about a minute ago. So Elizabeth will get the racing pigeon out of here, a fully grown one that you'll be able to see. We classify them as different colours. So the pigeon I've got in my hand is a dark checker pied. So pied stands for white on its head and wings. The checkering is the colours that are checked across here, which is the dark colours, and the blue is this is what we call blue, this colour here. So Elizabeth's got one of our pigeons that was bred last year, so it's exactly a year old, that pigeon. And as you can see, it goes from that at 20 days through to a year old, that sort of size and shape. So Elizabeth will show you this pigeon.
So this pigeon has a different colour ring because it's from a different year, and it will always say that what year it was born in, and this one was a 2020 pigeon, but it's a blue checker white
Pied, blue checker pied. Open its wing up so they can see what the size of the wing is, so you can see the wing like that.
And this is also part of the pied, but the main bit that would show you if it was a pied or not would be it would usually have some white on its head, and this one has a lot, because you can't define it if it has even a white wing and no...
we would call it just a white flight.
Yeah.
With the white wing. So that's a racing pigeon, so if you let that one go, a hen. And then the next one, Elizabeth, to get out. Which one are you going to get out next?
I'm going to get out a tumbler.
Yes. So these are what we call fancy pigeons now. Like the king my son had is a fancy pigeon. This is also a fancy pigeon. So as you can see, this one's much smaller. Still a hen, same sex as the previous one, but much smaller. This is not a Portuguese tumbler, but much smaller than the previous ones. And you can see we call this a grizzle. So grizzle in our racing or in colour definition for pigeons is it's got lots of different colours like this all over its body. You can see very similar to a racing pigeon, but much smaller and bred for different purposes. These pigeons do fly out, but this in our circumstances just kept in for show purposes. So if you then get out one of your other show fancy birds. So this one is, what's this one?
It's a red capuchin. I think it's called a capuchin because of the cap it's got over its head. And you just call it red because of, well, actually it's brown.
So yeah, well this colour is what we call red colour in terms of pigeons.
And I think they're quite magnificent birds, but really on their cap they've got quite a few like different colours, like they're green and like purple, but the front it in places it's really like ruffled as well.
So those are capuchins, which are bred for show purposes. And then we've got one other breed of pigeon in here, which is bred for its iridescent colour. So every pigeon you can see has iridescent colour down its front of its chest and around its neck that can be green and purple colours and all that. It's believed in science that is used, the pigeons can see that ultraviolet light or colour with their eyes, and that's how they actually choose their partner. We can't see the full colour spectrum that's on their chest and that. But this family here is called an archangel. You can see this has got a crest similar to the capuchin that we just had, but only a crest rather than a full hood. But you can see on this, if Elizabeth opens up the wing, and you can see the body, it's got that green sheen across its whole body, which is very unusual. You don't see this in racing pigeons at all. This colour is very unique to this particular breed of fancy bird. So, as you can see, the world of pigeons isn't just about racing. There are many different varieties of colour and breeds and shapes and sizes. There's many colours and variations of colours in pigeons as there are in parrots. So you can enjoy pigeons in many different forms as either just pets. You can race and compete with them, obviously, but as well you can take them to shows just like any dog show, cat show, or anything along those lines. So I hope you have enjoyed this short video. We'll have one more update of the actual pigeons that will be going to the One Loft race in about a week's time when they're put in the boxes and ready for going. Thank you very much for all of your names. Very impressed with the names that you've chosen for your 5 entrants, and you'll see them all next time. Thank you and goodbye.